comfortable seat, take a couple moments to set yourself up and give yourself that movement of your pelvis where it can tilt a little bit forward, belly coming forward. This is our anterior tilt of the pelvis that helps us create a lumbar curve. So now as you rest your hands down with your eyes closed, take a moment for a full breath. And from here, as you take a couple deep breaths, add little movements with your pelvis, a little forward and back movement. Maybe you're just shifting a little side to side on sitting bones. Just add that little bit of movement in this area of your body where your sacral chakra is located. Notice for yourself if there is some freedom of movement here, or if maybe you feel a little stuck today. Different every day. And everybody has a place in their body that sometimes feels a little bit more stuck than other places. So if this happens to be yours, just notice it without any kind of judgment. Then come to stillness with that little bit of tilt forward of your pelvis. Lengthen your sides, lift your shoulders up and back. And as you take a couple big breaths now, allow your breath to be fluid in its movement. Even think of that transition from your inhale to your exhale as fluid, and from your exhale to your inhale as fluid. Then as you bring your hands to connect at heart center, press palms gently. Lift your shoulders up and back and start to connect shoulder blades. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, bow toward your heart. Then softly opening your eyes, release your hands down. And again, let your shoulders move up and back, lengthen up through the back of your neck, and take a couple movements ear to shoulder. It's checking in with the neck, tops of shoulders, upper back. Then as you take your head over to the right side, if you would like, you can take a hold of the side of your head with your right hand. Left arm comes to gratitude, so bend your elbow by your side and then rotate your arm so your thumb is moving back. Feeling the shoulder blade engage here on this side. Add a couple of movements up and down with your left shoulder blade. And maybe you'll notice a little more movement in that rotation of your upper arm bone. Maybe you don't. Just try to find a little more movement, a little more space. Then keeping your shoulder blade on your back, keep that rotation so your thumb is moving back, and add a tuck up and down with your chin. And as you come back up to center, release your arms down, give your shoulders a little roll back. And then take left ear to left shoulder. Again, you can hold on to the side of your head if you would like to. You don't have to if that's too intense here for you. Elbow by your side on the right hand and then rotate. Find that half gratitude. So now, as you take a couple big breaths, start to move up and down with your shoulder blade. See if you can find that little extra movement. So maybe your arm starts to rotate a little more. Again, it might not. If you have a lot of tension going on in your shoulders, it really might not. That's okay. It's just a chance to notice. Then keep your shoulder blade on your back and take a few tucks up and down with your chin. Then come back into center, release both hands down, and again, give your shoulders some rolls back. Tuck your chin down here as you roll your shoulders back. Then keep shoulder blades hugging onto your back. Shake your head no toward the ground. And then lift up so you're looking straight ahead and shake your head no. And nod your head yes. Keeping your shoulder blades on your back here. Sometimes when you tilt your chin up, especially if you have a lot going on, then you end up shrugging your shoulders up. So keep shoulder blades on your back, shoulders down. Then back to center and switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself. Shift your sitting bones. Remember, we're finding that place where we can tilt our pelvis, focusing on that second chakra area of your belly coming forward, creating a lumbar curve. Then hands come to your knees again, press down, lift your shoulders up and back. Think of lengthening from hip to armpit. And it's less of a shrug and more of your sides lifting. Shoulder blades engaging, turn your chin over to the right side, nod to the right. And then turn your chin to the left side and nod to the left. Then back into center. Now arms up to cactus. And that means palms facing forward. And think of elbows drawing a little bit forward as maybe you let your ribs lift a little bit. And from that place, engage low belly, engage low ribs. So you're supporting the back body. And then press back with your elbows. As you press back, feel your shoulder blades engage. And then let your arms come a little forward. And then press back again. And then arms come forward and press back again. And now bring arms in front of you. You're going to cross left elbow over your right. And you might just come to crossing the elbows back to back with your hands. Or you might wrap around and take a hold of your palm. Or you can always take hugs, whichever feels the best on your shoulders. Lift elbows up to shoulder height. And then draw shoulder blades onto your back. Think of tops of shoulders getting broad. From that place, little circles in one direction. Little circles in the other direction. And then release your arms. Give yourself a chance to roll back with shoulders. Take your head side to side. Check in with what's there. And then arms up to cactus. And again, we'll do that pulsing again, but draw elbows forward first. So it's like you're tipping your fingertips back, elbows forward, kind of attached to your low ribs. So exhale, engage your low ribs. And then press back and release. And press back and release. One more time, press back, shoulder blades engage, and release. And then bring elbows in front, and you're crossing right elbow over your left. And again, back to back here is fine. Or take palms, or hold on to shoulders. Any of those options. Lift elbows up to shoulder height. Draw shoulder blades onto your back. It should make the tops of your shoulders get broad. And then add little circles in one direction. And little circles in the other direction. And then release your arms down. And again, shoulders roll back. A little side to side movement with your head, or maybe up and down movement with your head. And then as you come forward onto your hands and knees, first thing, we'll do some circles with our hips. So set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And evenly spread your fingertips, press down with palms and fingertips. And then expand into your upper back. So as you push, your upper back gets to lift a little. Now, exhale, hips towards your heels. Inhale, circle hips over to the left side, all the way towards your arms, and exhale back on the right. Inhale, circle around, and exhale, draw back. One more in this direction. Full inhale, long, deep exhale. Then switch directions. Inhaling to the right, exhale back on the left. And as you take these next couple, just notice if there are places through your hips or your body anywhere that feel maybe a little bit more rigid. And then finally settle hips back toward your heels into a child's pose. Walk your hands forward, shift a little side to side with your hips. And remember that if hips back toward heels is tricky, then feel free to add a little lift with your hips. Let your head release down. Take a couple big deep breaths. Then inhaling, rise to hands and knees. And again, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Push with your hands, expand into the upper back, and then inhale, reach back with your right leg. Bend your right knee and turn open with your hips. So now you're aiming your right foot to the left side and push with your heel. Lengthening through your thigh toward the back of your mat. Take a big deep breath and find tone through low belly and low ribs. On your exhale, set right knee down. Inhale, stretch back with your left leg. Turn open with your hip, bend your knee, and push through your heel. Big, full, deep breath. Again, that push through the heel enables you to reach a little longer through your thigh. Tone your low belly and your low ribs. Exhale, left knee back to the ground. And now as you root down through your palms and fingertips again, rotate elbow pits forward and push. Tuck toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose, and take a big deep breath, adding a little bit of movement, whether it's a bend to one knee at a time, or a sway through your hips. Or maybe it's a little forward and back movement, like you're coming into plank and then back into down dog. Good way to warm up through the shoulders. Whatever movement you're taking, consciously turn it into some fluidity. Notice if there's some places where you feel a little more rigid and stuck. And see if you can add a little bit more fluidity to your movement. What does it take to do that? And maybe it's not going to happen in your body today, and that's okay too. And now work your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Feel free to use blocks here for your hands. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Knees are bent, hands are above your knees. Extend your heart forward. Exhale and fold over your legs. Inhale and lengthen part way. Again, hands above your knees. Exhale and fold. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands above your knees. Lengthen your heart forward. Bend your knees, sitting hips back into a chair pose with a modification here of your hands on your knees. Rotate your inner thighs back so you're tilting your pelvis. Your belly will drop down a little. Then tone your low belly, tone your low ribs. Inhale, reach your arms. Take a big deep breath. Push into the floor and inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Lift your heart up high. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Take a full breath, maybe let your eyes close and tune into whatever energy is in your body right now. Softly opening your eyes. We're going to find our balance and do just a basic movement in our balance. So if you want to, you can come over to a wall and hold on to it. Or you can stay challenging yourself a little bit in the middle of the floor. So find your balance onto your left knee, draw your right knee into your hand, and then you're going to open your right knee up, stand tall. Inhale, come back into center. Exhale, open it up. Inhale to center. And exhale, open it up. Good, one more this way. Inhale and exhale. Inhale back to center and exhale, foot to the ground. Balance onto the right foot, bring the left knee in towards your chest, give your foot a flex, stand tall. Inhale, open it up, and exhale to center. Inhale and exhale. Good, inhaling, exhaling. One more time, full inhale and exhale. And set your foot down. Bring both feet to inner hip distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes and then root them down. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, bent knees to fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant your fingertips, right foot steps back into your lunge. Turn and plant your back heel and inhale, rise up to your warrior two, facing the right side. Take a couple moments to find a little deeper pose here, opening up with your front knee, maybe rising up and down a couple times to find that depth. Lift your ribs and your heart up high. And now hands come behind your back to clasp, lift your shoulders up and back. As you draw your shoulders up and back, your palms press, elbows hug back, knee opens up. Take a big inhale, lift your heart up higher. Exhale, release your hands, bring them down to the ground, tuck your back toes and step back, downward facing dog pose. Take a moment here to notice how your body's feeling. Now root down with the four corners of your palms and press. From lats out through your hands, bend your knees and tilt your sitting bones up. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Feel free to use knees on the ground if you'd like. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Extend your heart. Exhale, lower. Inhale, curl up and open as high as your body needs. High, medium, low, but broad and open through your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Big deep breath. Inhale, right leg lifts to the sky. Send your left hip crease back in space and then turn open with your right hip. Keeping your left knee aimed straight ahead. It wants to turn to the right side, but you're keeping your hip crease pressing back, keeping space on the left side. Exhale, step right foot forward in between your hands. Feel free to bring your back knee down to get it there. And then lift your back knee up if it's down. Turn and plant your back heel and open up to warrior two on the second side. Take a big, full, deep breath as you again pulse and settle in. Find that opening for your knee, the lift of your heart, find the depth of your pose. And then bring hands behind your back to clasp. Again, palms press. Lift up and open through your shoulders, elbows hug back. So instead of locking out your joints, you're keeping a little bit of softness there for your joints. Again, open with your knee, take one more big breath as you lift your heart up high. Next exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step back into a child's pose. So now our second chakra, our sacral chakra, is fluid, it's water. We're going to contain our water now. If that feels good in your body, you're going to walk your knees a little closer and then let your belly come to rest against your legs. That might mean that you need to put your head up on something to make it feel better here. But take a couple big breaths, letting your belly compress against your legs. And if it just doesn't feel good, then open it up enough so it does. And now inhale, rise to your hands and your knees. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. And walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. And now Finding your strap. I know some of you didn't hear me say grab your strap, but whatever you're using for a strap, and you can always use your rolled up blanket here too. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. So we're going to use our strap around our foot for our balance this time. And the purpose of this, and you can make a loop for your foot if you want to. Sometimes that's the easiest. But the purpose of this is for us to be able to allow our foot to be a little further away from our body as we take this balance to create more space. So now I'm going to bend into my right knee and walk my hands down my strap on my foot so that I now have more of a modified version of my dancer pose. So my thigh is reaching down on the right side. Engage your left glute to push, lift your ribs, your chest, your heart. And I'm going to turn sideways here so that you can see. So the idea with the foot being held by the strap is that you're not trying to pull your heel in towards your glute this time, but instead you have space to rotate inner thighs back, your butt moves back towards your heel, and then engage, low belly, low ribs, lift your chest. From here, start to press your thighs straight back as you come into your dancer. Take a full big breath wherever that is for you and push your foot into your strap. Move your ribs away from your foot. Tone low belly, low ribs. Rotate your knee downward. Inhale, rise back up and release your foot, release the strap, and then take your strap around the left foot. And again, sometimes having that loop that you've made out of the strap is a little bit easier. Find your balance onto your right foot and bend your left knee. Walk your hands down your strap as close to your foot as is comfortable, and then even out your thighs. Now move your inner thighs back so that your sitting bones might be reaching toward your heel. And then from right glute, push down into the floor. Lift your ribs, your chest, your heart. Then begin to press your thigh back as you lean your chest forward, maybe stretch. But then as you push your foot into the strap, extend your ribs further. Full big breath. Tone your low belly, your low ribs. And then inhale, rise back up. Release your foot down and set your strap aside. Now feet inner hip distance apart and parallel, hands together at your heart. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale, fold. Plant hands, and you're going to step back into your hands and knees position. And I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see. But you're going to step your right foot forward, left knee is back, and then you're going to put your left knee onto a pillow, onto a block, onto a bolster, and your hands get to come up to your knee in front. So now bend your left knee and push your knee down into whatever you're using for a prop. And as you do that, your hips lift a little bit. Now, keep your left hand at your knee. Right hand reaches back, either with your strap for your foot, or you can just take a hold of your heel with your right hand. So you have a little bit of a twist here going. Push down. And again, it might just be your knee bent, pushing down and drawing forward. Take a big deep breath. And now gently release your foot. Come back to that hands and knees place for a moment. Pause and notice. Sometimes when you do that quad stretch, it actually gets into the hamstrings. So notice that for yourself. And then lift hips up and back, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, lift your left leg to the sky, press your right thigh back, and then turn open with your left hip. Again, make your right knee aim straight ahead. Take a full breath. And then step left foot forward in between your hands. Right knee is coming to the ground. And then you're gonna set something under your right knee for a little support. It can be high, it can be low, whatever your body needs, and then bring both hands up to your knee. From here, bend your back knee and push it down. You might stay right here. That's okay. It's still a little quad stretch. Sometimes it gets into the hamstrings. Tone the low belly. Tone the low glutes. Hug them in. From this place, as you turn your belly and your heart a little bit to the left side, you might reach back with your left hand to hold your foot, or you might have a strap around your foot. Or just bend your knee. That's okay. Take a big, deep breath. And then gently release all the way down with your hand, release your back knee, and settle back onto your hands and knees. Take a moment to notice. Hips to heels, take a child's pose. And again, knees narrow, contains the water. Knees wide, lets your belly release a little bit further toward the ground. Take a couple big breaths, shift your hips. Inch your fingertips forward. And then gently rise all the way up to your seat. And we're going to come right down onto our backs. Make sure whatever you're using for a strap is handy. And then make sure that you can reach everything for when it's time for Shavasana. But then as you come down onto your back, lasso the ball of your right foot and extend your right foot to the ceiling. Left foot can stay on the ground, or you can extend your left leg all the way out. Flex through your heel. Hold on to the strap with your left hand. Take your right thumb into your hip crease and give your hip crease a push. From that place, take a big, deep breath. And then just slightly take your leg across your body to the left side. Your hip stays planted. So we're just getting into the IT band and maybe a little bit into the TFL, tensor fascia lata. Full big breath. Inhale back into center. And now bend your knee, take a hold of your knee, squeeze it in, a little bit of compression into your gut. And then set left foot down, lasso your left, or set right foot down rather. Lasso your left foot, extend it toward the ceiling. Right leg can always extend out if that feels good. Or knee bent, foot to the floor is always an option here. Take a deep breath. Hold on to the strap with your right hand, left thumb into your hip crease, and push your hip crease. You might see your entire leg rotate a little bit so your toes turn to the left. Keep that and just slightly take it across your body to the right side. Your hip stays planted. Then inhale back into center. Bend your knee, you can take the strap off, and squeeze your knee in, giving your gut a little bit of compression here. And then set both feet on the ground. Drop knees in together to touch. Hands come to your hip bones, and then find that movement of your pelvis. We did this yesterday too. A little forward and back movement. A little tip side to side. And then start to set yourself up into your most comfortable resting pose, utilizing whatever props feel good here. So you can always set something underneath your knees, or maybe set your legs up on something nice and high like a chair. Whatever works the best in your body to help you settle. Begin to take a deeper breath. Add a little gentle movement to fingers, to toes. Maybe a little turn of your head side to side. And as you're ready to bend your knees and roll to one side, turning your belly and your heart as close to the ground as it can be, and take a deep breath. Then gently press yourself back up to your seat using as little energy as you can. Hands connect at heart center. With your eyes closed, take a moment for a full deep breath. Have a peaceful rest of your day. Namaste.